Now joining us at the UN's key aid agency in Gaza is Enes Hamdan, who's acting public information officer for UNRWA. Thank you very much for joining us. Could you walk us through the impact of Israel's ban on UNRWA operations since January? What has this meant for basic services?
Greetings to you and thank you so much for having me. This decision that was made by the end of January this year is sets a precedent, and this decision is directly related with the non-communication with UNRWA officials, which leaves some complications regarding the UNRWA essential processes that are life-saving. But the UNRWA has always had a very clear message. The UNRWA operations are essential, giving life to Gazans as much as possible, because the essential services provided by the UNRWA are very wide. They are related to health, to the environmental hygiene, and are indispensable in these extraordinary circumstances the Gaza Strip is witnessing.
Now, with food supplies almost gone and shelters overwhelmed, how is UNRWA continuing to operate in Gaza today?
The UNRWA is operating in an extraordinary atmosphere due to the different challenges. There's a siege and the blockade of food supplies, which is the lifeline to the population in Gaza, and the humanitarian institutions. The UNRWA is the largest institution affiliated with the United Nations. Now it has been 2 months with none of the food supplies entering the Strip. Of course, it deepens the humanitarian catastrophe.
Now, the ICJ hearings have focused heavily on Israel's treatment of UNRWA and its staff. What protections do you believe must most urgently be enforced?
UNRWA and its staff and buildings for months during this war were not protected according to the humanitarian law and the international humanitarian law. The humanitarian relief workers must not be targeted, but what we have seen in Gaza, Gaza was very dangerous for any humanitarian relief workers. A lot of workers fallen injured and killed. Around 280 UNRWA personnel fell dead, and this is unprecedented. Same goes for buildings. We're talking about 300 UNRWA facilities that were bombed, and most of them were completely destroyed, completely ignoring the international laws and norms.
Now, of course, aid agencies like your own need to be protected and are protected for the most part in international law. What would you say to the international community about what should be done to make sure that crimes against aid workers do not happen in the Gaza Strip?
Unfortunately, the situation in Gaza is catastrophic now. Even talking about any secure area is no longer an easy thing to talk about, because the secure or safe zones are being directly bombed. Now, the basic essential message here that I would like to send, that the relief staff must be protected for their own safety, and also to provide the highly essential services for the population who need it.
And lastly, what would be your message to the international community, to donors who are watching this unfold in real time?
The Gaza Strip is now a distressed area. There are crises in the health, the crises related to the humanitarian aid access. The blockade must be lifted, and the humanitarian aid must be allowed into the Gaza Strip to save what can be saved and salvage what can be salvaged of the Gaza population and children.
Well, thank you very much for joining us here, Acting Public Information Officer from UNRWA, Hamdan. Thank you very much for being with us here on Q News.